Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world by trading volume, is now launching a global law enforcement training program as a way to combat crypto crime. Joining us to discuss from Washington, D.C. is Matthew Price, Head of Intelligence and Investigations of the Americas at Binance. So welcome, Matthew. So what is this exactly? What is a global law enforcement training program? It sounds like Binance is actually training law enforcement, or how does this work exactly?
That's exactly what it is. That's how it sounds. So again, thank you for having me on this morning. So this is basically the first industry-led initiative to kind of provide training to law enforcement and regulators, prosecutors, things like that around the world to tackle financial crimes and crimes that may occur using cryptocurrency. This is something that we at Binance have been doing somewhat informally for a year, particularly myself and my teammates in our global investigations team. This is kind of the opportunity to, bring it out to a wider audience, particularly in jurisdictions that, may not have some of the resources or experience in place to investigate some of these type of issues.
So what are some examples of some of the specific crimes that you're talking about? I assume, things like money laundering or whatever. And why would Binance, how exactly are you training law enforcement? Why do they need an exchange to train them? Just explain how this works a little bit, please.
Sure. So, I think it's helpful by way of background. So myself and a lot of my colleagues come from law enforcement, and where we had a lot of success was that partnership with the private sector. Being on the other side here, working in an exchange, Binance, we're the largest in the world. We have the most tokens. We touch the most jurisdictions. It kind of puts us in that leadership position. And it's very important to have law enforcement have the ability to investigate these crimes. And one of the ways you do that is kind of demystifying crypto, kind of explaining how to investigate it, how to request information from cryptocurrency exchanges, how to use that information, how to interpret it, and how to work with the industry to tackle the bad actors out there.
So what jurisdiction, though, is Binance in? Can you work with them? Can U.S. law enforcement work with them? Where are they right now?
So we work with law enforcement throughout the world. In fact, I just got back from South America. I was in Argentina and Brazil training investigators down there. I have colleagues that were in the Philippines this week, working with agencies in the U.S. We're anywhere where there are customers and where there's a need or a demand for assistance and a demand for training. That's where we are doing these.
But what jurisdiction is Binance in, though?
We have licenses in various locations in Europe and Dubai. But that said, we operate globally, and this program is global.
Do they have any servers in the U.S.?
I don't know if I'm going to answer where servers are at this point, but again, the point of this is the law enforcement training. Can
U.S. law enforcement deal with Binance depending on where the servers are? Are they in the U.S. that they could work with them?
Certainly, we deal with U.S. law enforcement on a regular basis, all the time on cases. We provide assistance to the U.S., North American agencies, South American, Europe, Africa. It really is kind of agnostic as far as we're concerned.
But the actual servers, are they in the U.S. or are they not?
As far as law enforcement is concerned, I'm not sure they're really concerned with where the actual servers are. It's more where crimes are taking place. And again, cryptocurrency investigations tend to be international. So in a lot of cases, a U.S. agency may investigate and an actor's in another country or vice versa. So, at least in my experience previously, I was never really concerned with where servers were in an exchange. It was more about the collaboration, obtaining the information I needed to work my investigations.
So they could be a U.S. company in the U.S. That's what you're saying.
I'm not really sure. I'm sorry, I missed that question. But
Binance could be a U.S. company with U.S. servers, is what you're saying.
Well, there's Binance.us, which is the U.S. entity. I work for Binance.com.
Are you seeing a rise in crime? And if so, regionally, where is that being concentrated and where are you focused on?
So I wouldn't say it's a rise in crime. I think what's important is these are the same types of crimes, financial crimes that occurred, for years. It's just moving to a newer technology. I think as crypto is more widely adopted, of course, criminals are also going to try to adopt that. And I think, I don't know if there's a regional trend, but I think as, each market, as it's more mature, as more customers are involved in it, with that, you are more than likely going to see a rising use of crypto for crime. So, I think our program is more focused on, where is the greatest need? Where are the jurisdictions that, quite frankly, maybe don't have the experience or the resources yet, those are the ones that we're focused on. But again, we're pretty open to most jurisdictions and providing that assistance.
Which are those jurisdictions in particular?
Again, a good example, I was just in Brazil. It's one of the largest markets worldwide for crypto, one of the highest levels of crypto adoption. I had colleagues that were recently in the Philippines. We've done these events in Europe, have future ones planned in other South American, Asian, European countries.
And Matthew, just before we leave, just wanted to touch on several of these headlines that we're seeing this morning. So we're just learning that WazirX, one of the dominant exchanges in India, they're laying off 40% of staff. We've had layoffs earlier this year from Binance as well as Gemini, crypto exchanges, very popular in the United States. And so I wondered, how is Binance faring amid this wave of layoffs at crypto exchanges?
I can only speak to my personal experience. My team continues to grow. We're still adding investigators. We're quite busy. We're still traveling, doing events. We're training. We're, constantly working and growing the team. So that's not something that I've seen personally. I can't comment on what the other exchanges are doing, but certainly that's not something that's affected us in the investigations or compliance department.